Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining. We will probably try to get started right on time now that everyone has our Top Gun song stuck in their head. I'm Nicole Morozic. I'm here with LTK. I'm on the marketing communication side, and I just want to say we're so excited to have everyone who has signed up and joined us here today. Obviously, we're going to be going through LTK Connect and really talking about our top tips and tricks for brands. And we're so excited and honored that you all took time out of your day to join us. And we've had a few LTK Connect webinars, but this session is going to be really about driving into the nuts and bolts of the platform and what truly makes LTK Connect and our brands thrive with creators. So next slide. I know you all likely joined to get a chance to hear from these remarkable brands and how they've just been crushing it with Connect. In this expert panel, they're going to share their best practices to break through the social noise with influencer marketing. So as I mentioned, I'm Nicole, and I am joined today by Stephanie Ritchie, founder and CEO of Revolution Rose, Megan Funikin, director of performance marketing at Tecovas, and Hannah Wild, she's affiliate marketing manager, Backbone Media for Tecovas. So we're gonna fly through some of the upfront stuff so that you all can hear from these brands that you might be Googling at the same time right now. So a little bit of what we're going to go through today. Obviously, introduce LTK for anyone new here, talk about the amazing tools at the brand's disposal. How do we set some campaign goals, briefs, providing direction to creators, and how to make your campaign stand out. And then we'll really get to the fun part, which is the panelist Q&A with our special guests. So quickly, I wanted to give you an overview of LTK in case you are new to our platform. First off, we know there are many ways that you can market and amplify your brand today. A myriad of options at any brand's disposal, from traditional media like editorial coverage to newer channels like our friends at TikTok. We feel strongly at LTK that creator or influencer marketing can amplify really everything you do or already do or might be thinking about doing for your business. What makes us different in this space is we were actually founded by a creator for creators. LTK was founded by Amber Vinsbox to give creators a significant tech advantage to be a brand's true power partner. We drive billions in annual brand purchases from the largest curated creator community. We actually just hit 10 million app downloads, so humble brag. Truly remarkable. We've got 6,000 retailers on the platform, 5-star shopping app. And we're also super unique that we're a 3-sided marketplace. So what does that mean? We touch brands, shoppers, and creators, and we've got 10 plus years of influencer data based on the technology that we offer. So our proprietary data really is a game changer for some of these brands. And overall, we just provide brands with the right creators who have a suite of products and tools to just be as successful as possible together with our brands and creator partnerships. We have a similar team dedicated to creating a seamless shopping experience in app. So check it out if you haven't already. So this really all comes together and provides brands with a powerful ecosystem just to be super successful. So getting into LTK Connect. So next slide. So what is LTK Connect? We've told you a little bit about our platform, and I just want to kind of provide a little bit of an overview for Connect. Connect really bridges the gaps and puts the creator relationship in a brand's hands, almost acting as your own personal agency. Really, the goal is to save you, hours of time because your time is super precious. LTK Connect is a self-serve product that gives brands of all sizes the opportunity to both create, manage, optimize, and also scale their influencer strategy. This gives you as much control as you want, from doing everything in-house to limiting to what you outsource with your agency partners. Brands really benefit from our performance-backed data that you really wouldn't get anywhere outside of LTK. We've run hundreds of thousands of successful influencer campaigns over these years, and the tool really allows you to scale up and down based on your brand's need. It's a game changer, I really think, for brands of all sizes to use and our creators to grow just, the entirety of their business. So you want to join LTK Connect, or maybe you're already on the platform. Now, how do you get started? And again, that's really the purpose of why we're here today. And I want to share our top 5 tips for brands looking to launch their first Connect campaign. For those that might be on the fence, for those that might feel it's a little debunking a few myths out there, we'll help you get going. So one of the first tips, again, there's going to be 5. We really want to talk about using all of our LTK tools, everything I just kind of talked about at the start. What's at your disposal from our app. I know it sounds simple, but you'd be surprised if you search your brand's name or maybe even your competitors just to see who's talking organically about your products, or maybe give you a little inspiration for what you could be featuring. If your brand is new, I would suggest you search similar brands for your products just to see who's linking those items and your lookalikes out there. And then from there, you can really choose creators who you think would be a good partner. Our Instagram, we have grown 1 million in just a few small months. We're now up to 4 million followers, and our content is constantly being reposted from our LTK creators. So you're going to see them a lot on our app. So go through our main account. We also have some sub accounts for style and home, just to discover some of our new LTK creators. I mean, really think about your brand storefront and what does it look like on social when they open those virtual doors to your store. Our hashtags are also really helpful if you're looking for a specific creator, or search by hashtag LTK within Instagram and the app just to be able to see what's being posted. So we have a lot for you to choose from. And our second tip, we're going to get into setting a goal. I know this sounds basic, but every sound campaign really starts with understanding what you're trying to achieve. We typically guide brands into 2 areas, the goal around brand awareness or sales. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure, and sometimes it might be both, but we try to separate them out so that we can really understand, what your brand's trying to achieve. With awareness, we highly encourage you to focus on engagement rate and followers within those creative profiles. And then look at the creators' LTK Instagram accounts and make sure that their aesthetic fits with your brand's aesthetic. Most likely the followers for that creator are similar as well. So if you're sharing family life, if you're sharing style, if it's a home product, if it's beauty, really trying to see how you would show up with your creator. If you're sales focused, we really talk about conversion rate along with our up and coming and top creator categories, and really looking for a creator that may have an asking rate that aligns more with a budget you're comfortable with. And we know that budget is first and foremost for a lot of brands coming in, and we definitely have something for everyone. So really looking at the creator content to see if their previous sponsored content aligns with what you want to position as well. So the secret is really right in front of you. It's just kind of digging around for it. And, at the end of it, just really ask yourself, what type of creator is your ideal creator? We've already done the hard work for you. We have pre-vetted these creators. So at this point, it's just, do you want to partner with them? Would they be a good partner? So hopefully we've taken a ton of the legwork out there so you can really get down to your brass tacks. So our third tip, we want to talk about creating a campaign brief. This is your roadmap where the creator will come back to look at when they are creating the content. I mean, you're paying for this partnership, so the creator wants to know just as much what you want from them. So it's a mutual relationship, and it's okay to be upfront. I mean, we really understand that your time's precious, a creator's time's precious. You all might not be on email at the same time. So this campaign brief really gets you that structure to align on all your goals up front. We strongly recommend, I would say, that you're not too strict with some of your rules, especially if you're just getting started. The creator should really be helping you drive that creator direction. And you're going to hear from some of our panelists today that will tell you a little bit more about that. The creator knows what drives best for them. They know their audience best. So you can definitely lead them there. But I think if you have a two-way conversation, you'll find that the content is way more authentic and really looks as part of their organic content. So all the things to include in a brief can be images, talking points, any sales details, exact timing, just really be specific. This is your chance to outline exactly what you want. And like you, these creators are busy. So the more aligned you are up front, the less back and forth you're going to have throughout. So tip number 4, provide clear direction. So again, we kind of talked about making sure that brief is set, but really, again, if the brand needs to review anything beforehand, if you want content shot in a specific way, if you want the post to go live on a certain time, really get into that nitty gritty. I think this is obvious for a lot of brands, but really it's probably getting 1 or 2 off the ground where you'll get through some of those hiccups. But these are just a few of our top tips to make sure you're covering off in that brief. And then tip number 5, and if you guys are making comments in the section, we'll try to get to those. Keep conversations or questions coming, and we'll make sure we flag those at the end. So tip number 5, make the collaboration exciting. So what's cool about your brand? You're obviously here for a reason. There's something unique that you want to offer these creators. This is your time to establish that relationship, and we encourage long-term relationships. And remember what makes your brand unique, and really, really think about what's going to make them choose you amongst others. We have creators on our platform that I know are dying to hear from a lot of you. So remember, just be authentic, be bold, be yourself. And again, check their asking rate. Make sure that you're making that offer worth their while, worth your while. Is it a discount code? Is it gifting? Ask them to choose their product off your site. There's a couple ways in that can really unlock, a creator deciding this is a great partnership for them to work with you. Let them know just, again, how much the partnership would mean to you. Again, other promotional details. But at the end of the day, it's just giving that creator control, making them feel a part of the partnership, makes the whole process move faster, and ultimately creating that content that's memorable and unique from you. Okay, so that's for sure enough from me. Those are our top tips to kind of get things going. But again, I'm super excited to introduce you to these phenomenal women and brands. We're here to talk a little bit about how they actually got started on Connect and share what they're doing on the platform. Every company here has a really unique story. You're going to love talking to them. So again, I mentioned at the beginning, Stephanie with Revolution Rose, she joined LTK Connect in March with the goal of roping in creators that align with the unique spirit of Revolution Rose and launching campaigns to grow beyond her Lone Star footprint in Texas. Stephanie was quickly able to understand with Connect the styles and rates of creators to communicate with them about campaigns rather than blindly reaching out on social media. Tecovas, we have Megan and Hannah here, and they're an Austin-based Western brand. They were founded in 2015 with men and women's cowboy boots, and it's now the fastest growing Western brand. They've also been on our platform since spring, and they're dedicated to making top quality, timeless Western footwear, apparel, accessories, and leather goods. Tecovas LTK is run apart by Backbone Media, so you'll hear from Hannah, and this is just the agency that really helps make that creator magic happen as well. Both of these brands are powerhouses, so I think, all the upfront that I just went through, we discussed there's so many different marketing channels, techniques that are available at these brands' disposal. So with this, why is creator marketing important to your business? So Stephanie, I will finally let someone else take it away. If you want to take it away.
Thank you, Nicole. That was an awesome introduction that you gave me. I'm just really humbled to be here. So thank you for inviting me. So my business started in 2018. Revolutionrose.com is the online store for ladies. We have a classic boho vibe, and we do a lot of some embroidered type shirts, but mostly classic and boho, a little bit of Western. So glad to be on here with Tecovas too, because I'm a big fan of theirs. So I'm a small business. When I got started, I'm on Instagram a lot. I know that the creators, are in front of me. I follow a lot of the creators. And so I know that it's super important for brands. I've been wanting to get into a creator network for a while, and I got an email from LTK about a year ago, maybe six months to a year ago. I can't remember how long. I was already on the platform as a business, so people could link, my products, but I wanted to work with creators. I had found that just reaching out or cold calling them or DMing them was not getting me anywhere, really. And so as soon as I was presented with the creator platform, LTK Connect, I instantly reached out. Hey, I want to be involved in this. I want to be one of the first ones to, get involved. So that's kind of how my story started with LTK Connect.
That's awesome. And I know we're going to get into just some of the hard work you've been doing with a few campaigns. So Megan, right back to you, kind of what made you find the LTK Connect platform just right for your business?
Yeah. So hi, everybody. I'm Megan from Tecovas. We're a D2C cowboy boot brand. So we make Western apparel and Western boots right here in Austin, Texas. So I think, for us, the element that was really interesting and appealing about the LTK network is the authenticity that comes with creators. We have an amazing creative team here in-house, and they shoot beautiful photography, but having an ambassador of the brand who's actually saying, here's how I like to style it, or here's why I recommend the boot. It just really allows for a more authentic experience for our customers to interact with these creators directly.
Yeah, I think the authenticity and credibility is something that's just going to extend any kind of brand awareness that you want to push. That's awesome. So to that point, what kind of surprised you most when you started working with these creators? And Stephanie, I'll let you take that first.
Okay. So they instantly responded through your platform, or within 24 hours, I got a response. So far I've worked with 6 creators and I've only got 1 decline, but that was just timing and a few little idiosyncrasy things. So not anything major. So that instantly made me know, like, okay, this is, just y'all have already curated all the creators. So that gives us more credibility. We're working through you, you're building the relationship with these creators, and we're just an extension of that. So that, I think that's the biggest thing for me, that they feel comfortable working with us just because you've already made that relationship.
And I know you had mentioned that, like, you just love to see how they were styling your products in just ways that you had never really thought of.
Yes. So for me, and the way I would style it, so far I've just been really thrilled just to see how each creator takes the items that I send them and puts their own flair to it. They style an outfit one certain way, and I'll think, wow, I wouldn't have done that, but that's super cute and I love it. And that's back to your point when you were in Megan's too. Each creator has their own different audience that they've built, and so I do like to give them a lot of autonomy when I send them things, and especially when I create the when I start for my campaign. I try not to be super strict in the beginning, just because I have to the basic nuts and bolts of it, but not just nailing it down to specific details for them, because I know that there's already so much that goes into it anyway. And yeah, I just appreciate that, they put their own flair on it.
That's perfect. And Megan, I see you nodding along too. So what's been kind of fun with a few of your creator experiences?
Yeah, so I think, the thing that was surprising for me is the kind of tangential benefits, I guess, of working with these creators. We've bought in the rights to several of the photos that that we've seen do well through LTK, and push them through our own paid channels. So using their photography for our paid ads, and the response rate that we're getting on those ads versus some of our more traditional ads is crazy. We were seeing like 100% improvement in click-through rate. And I think it's just, again, sort of the authentic and genuine experience that the creators are having with the boots, and the UGC element. It just makes it feel a lot more embedded in your feeds, as opposed to the highly curated, beautiful photography that we've historically run on. I think UGC is a huge thing in paid ads right now. And these influencers and creators are a great hack to get to that UGC quickly and have it be, professional enough that it's still beautiful, but not so professional that it looks like it happened in a studio or something. It still feels very authentic.
And I think too, some of the bigger brands, they're experiencing the same thing. COVID, the pre-pandemic, a lot of that just kind of shut down a lot of the ability to do photo shoots. So we're seeing this across the board in terms of being able to use that creator content and totally echo like the click-through rate. That's insane. That's amazing. And that's, again, just one of the benefits of putting your voice out there with someone else, that can really create that relationship that they've already built with their following, that you can kind of glom onto that. That's terrific. So now that we've kind of heard, specifically how some of these creatives have worked with you all, I'd love to hear more about like the strategy and approach to starting these campaigns, and kind of one of the first, what are those tools that you started using first? And so like Hannah, for example, for brands that may know they need to engage, but really aren't sure how to start, do you have a top piece of advice for starting those relationships?
Yeah, of course. I think something that brands who are sort of on the fence, that something that they can do is to start small. LTK Connect has so many different sizes of influencers and different types that there's really something out there for anyone. So, I mean, when we first got started with Tacobas and we dipped our toe in the water with some smaller campaigns that really opened the door once we saw how successful they were to move into some of those larger creators. So I think like a really easy testing ground is to just get on the platform, see who you can work with, and maybe pick out some of those smaller ones before really jumping in at once.
That's awesome. And Stephanie, I know we've talked a little bit too about some of the tools you had mentioned, like you already have your creators easy to view and vet. So anything, Stephanie, from your perspective, when you joined that you love to see from the platform?
Well, so I'm gonna second what Hannah said. So I started out in the beginning, just, you know, something that you would want them to know is you can go from $100 plus gifting. So that's kind of how it goes, monetary and gifting, but you can go up to the sky's the limit. So I'm a small business. I started out a little bit lower budget and worked with 2 creators at a time and just kind of tested their audience. And then the second go round, went up a little bit more in my budget just so I could get myself familiar and comfortable. And that's how I started. You know, I felt that was for my comfort level. That's how I wanted to get going. And I've had a lot of success with that. I'm actually just finishing a campaign today, actually, for a summer sale that we're doing. And the creator's been amazing to work with. And, you know, it's launching later this evening, so I don't have any results for you this time, but I'm really excited to see what happens. And something we've talked about before, all of our numbers are up for the year.
Wow.
I mean, across the board, all the percentages, 20 to 30% in engagement rate. I've used creator pictures. I've purchased the right to their photos. People recognize them. They're not celebrities, but they are micro celebrities because they've built an audience. And, you know, all the people that follow LTK, it's like one big family. And so people recognize them, especially if they have a little bit bigger following, I'd say 30 to, 100,000 plus, then for sure people recognize them.
I think that's true. That's a great point. I mean, it's a little bit of like how to eat an elephant because you're really not sure what creators are right for you. And I love that you've identified, 2 at a time. It's not going to be the same recipe for everybody. And I think that's the benefit of Connect being able to scale. And the love and joy that we get with influencers is because you can work with them in real time. If, temperatures suddenly drop and you're trying to sell a short sleeve shirt, maybe you ship them a sweater, things that you can do. Whereas if you're trying to do a bigger advertising campaign, you can't make those tiny moves when things have kind of already gone off the plan. So I love it. I think the conversion rate, knowing who follows them, you mentioned handling the payments. We, again, try to do that heavy lift for you all. And you were kind of getting to this, Stephanie, but do you want to talk a little bit about, storytelling, hyper-targeting these consumers? One of the recent campaigns, we'd love to hear just a little bit more about one of the campaigns you run. I know we talk a lot about seasonality, even though it's hot as all get out, we will eventually talk about fall trends. So is there anything that you're already starting to plan for as well?
So I start about 3 to 4 months out planning for the next season, just getting it on my mind. But then that actual, follow through of that happens about, I would say 2 months to 6 weeks, just on paper or on a spreadsheet. Looking back at creators that I've worked with, I have done that because I've had, gone back and repeated with a creator before because I had such good success. And so that's how I plan mine. I would say for most small businesses, that's how it is. As the larger the business, I'm sure the timeline has to be farther out. But something I was going to go back to what you said before is these creators are small businesses. They're like independent contractors. So they can be flexible for us and they want to serve your brand. So, there's not a lot that they've been thrown at them that they can't handle. So I definitely, look at it from their perspective as well. They're, wanting to serve this community and they're independent contractors to us, and they, can do things on the fly, like you said. So that's something else to add to what you said before.
That's wonderful. And Hannah, anything specifically when you're starting to plan as well?
Yeah, so I think we align with Jacoba's product launches really closely. So if there are new boots coming out, we definitely want to look at creators around that time. But what you said about seasonality also applies to us. I mean, we have some tailgating campaigns coming up at the end of August, which is super timely. And then, like you mentioned, when we get into fall, I think it'd be really fun to style like Halloween costumes with cowboy boots or something like that. So I would say both seasonality and product launches are our biggest ones.
Yeah, and just kind of hitting on that, if you want to talk a little bit about timing, we know from internal that sometimes creators take a little more time. So if you know that you're launching something, you've got to get it to them beforehand so they can try it and they can shoot their content. Do you have like general timelines that you typically find work well?
Yeah, I think it depends on the product launch. Just knowing when the boots are getting in the warehouse and things like that, and then preparing from there. So it definitely just depends. But yeah, just we also try and work with the creators. I know, like you mentioned, it takes a couple weeks sometimes, so we try and be flexible in that too.
Stephanie, I feel like you are hot on your feet and easy to work with and get things out. So would you also kind of say similarly a few weeks to get with the creator, get things
Yes,
aligned?
I think that give them at least 2 weeks, 3 if you can. I try to ship the product as early as I can. I would say 3 weeks out, 2 to 3 weeks out from when they need to have their content turned in, just because things happen, they may have children, kids get sick, husbands
right.
get sick, things happen, so plan for that. But so far, my experience has been they've been right on time. The messaging platform that you all have incorporated into the Connect platform, I love and use a lot. I can message from my phone if I'm not at my desk. I can, talk with them through there. And, if you have to get on Instagram DM, which occasionally happens, we do that, but they share stuff through there too. They're sharing content to email, but also we've shared through there as well. So yeah.
Wonderful. Do you have a particular platform that Revolution Rose typically goes more towards? Is it Instagram? I know TikTok's huge video right now.
Well, Instagram is definitely the main platform. We do well on Facebook too, because we have a group, Facebook group. And, we've been building that since we started. And so we have a good following there, and I give them a coupon code for my website that's good all the time. If you're in the group, you get the coupon code for the group. And so, yeah, it's really, both of them are good for us. I feel like Instagram, it drives the fashion side even more, and especially it's changing now, but I feel like it's going to stay for a while that Instagram is the one, that's kind of driving for our brand in the fashion portion of it and accessories.
And I feel like that's the beauty of working with creators. They typically have a jump off on what's popular or what's trending. So they're going to get to there at the same time too. That's awesome.
Sure. So like with the reels changing, Instagram changing to driven mostly reels, they've already been in the mode of doing that for probably 6 months to a year. So when you ask them to do a reel instead of a still picture, they're like, no problem. I've had no pushback on that whatsoever, because that's what I asked for is, sorry, there's a fly, still pictures and reels. So, and I've had no pushback. They're eager to do it.
Yeah, and I think the type of content as well, right? It's not all static. You can definitely choose your platform. So Hannah, would you and Megan, I guess, too, kind of agree? Is there something where Tecovas typically leans more towards, or you find more success?
Yeah, I would say what you said about Instagram, just navigating more towards reels, and that's what's populating on people's feeds. We found a lot of success with the reels right now, but I will say that how Megan mentioned we're buying usage rights, I think those still pictures still resonate really well.
That's awesome. Is there anything that I haven't covered that you all wanted to talk about? I think we hit a lot of the highlights. I would love to just to kind of know, even just kind of personally, what is something, with your business, and we can start with you, Stephanie, just like a moment where that's just made you so proud. Again, we're so impressed by each of your D2C brands.
Well, I started in March, not with the first creator, but for a creator that I used for the first time this year. And that was super successful. Every campaign since then, I've reached a 4-to-1 ratio. So for the dollars that I spent on the campaign, I got 4 in return. So just to break it down, that's layman's terms. so that was exciting to see, but just to watch it all take place, you're planning in the back, your thought, just it starts in your head and you kind of start planning, and then to see it all come to fruition definitely is rewarding. Because I'm a small business. There's just a couple of people in the background helping me, but it's mainly my ideas and things that I put out. So that was really rewarding to see that play out. And I worked with that creator 2 different times, and both times were really successful. And yeah, so that's super rewarding to see it play out like that.
I know you had mentioned that a few times when you're ready to post a product, you better be ready because it will go off the shelves. So I think that's just another
whenever
good piece of
you
advice.
have product, whenever you send the creator the items, because everything that I send sells out immediately, like within the day or the next day. And so I always prepare ahead of time to make sure that I have plenty of that specific product, if whatever I'm sending to the creator, because it sells out every time.
That's awesome. And then Megan, I will direct that back to you. Is there any kind of creator moment or something that you've kind of seen grown, especially, in the past few years? I'm sure it's been a very different business model.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd echo a lot of what Stephanie said. I think things like empowering the creator to style the boots in whatever way they want. And, we give them a lot of flexibility too, to choose a pair from the site. So, we don't generally prescribe. We might say, pick this style, but, we want them to pick the color, or,
Oh, cool.
we want this color, but you guys can pick the style. And that's really because we want them to genuinely like our product, because I think that comes through in the creative and the recommendations. And then again, to Stephanie's point, the profitability of the campaigns is there from the get-go. With a lot of other paid channels, you typically see kind of a warm-up period where you're optimizing and you're figuring out how to spend in that specific space. With this, we saw profitability right away. So we operated about a 3-to-1 in terms of revenue to ad spend. So that's been really exciting. And I think it presents us with a lot of opportunities for growth. There's, at the size that we are, we're kind of, you end up tapping out a little bit, I guess, on certain channels like Google. And this really opens up a new audience for us, and a different way to talk to our customers, and really, I think, a different customer. There's a heavily female-based audience here. There's a younger audience here, and we can really kind of tap into that, whereas our traditional marketing may not have been reaching those customers.
Yes, and I think even at scale, what brand isn't trying to reach the future shoppers that are the millennials, that are the Gen Zs? So that's a great call out. Awesome. You ladies are tremendous. You have been phenomenal to work with. It's been crazy to see the amount of growth you've had on the platform. I do want to open it up just to see if there's any questions from the gallery. Don't be shy. These women are lovely and can answer anything. But yeah, if you've got any questions on the platform or for Tecovas or Revolution Rose, if you're not, again, already on their website, you have to check it out after. We'd love to hear from you guys. So I'll give it just a few more minutes. And ladies, anything that I didn't cover? Last impulse purchase, last website you visited as we close things out?
Last impulse purchase for me was probably an athleisure dress. I'm loving them. It's very hot in Austin, Texas.
I know, that's the truth. That's a good one. Okay, so what is typically the turnaround time to launch a campaign? I think that's terrific. And again, it's an art and a science depending on what you already have started in the platform. If you're new, if you've been on the platform, and again, just the time it takes to really source those creators and how invested you are. So I wouldn't say there's a standard time frame. We really try to operate, you've heard from the team here, 2 to 4 weeks. Again, if you already are coming in knowing your goals, knowing the creators you want, all of that kind of will take a bit of time to build. But Stephanie or Hannah, do you want to talk a little bit about how long it's typically taken you to get set up?
I mean, it didn't take me very long at all. I spent 2 hours in an afternoon after I got off a call to get, up and running on the platform. I did some research, just looked through it, kind of familiarized myself with it. by the next day I was launching my first campaign, and that I'd say 4 hours total. I was able to, 2 hours one day familiarizing myself, and then 2 hours the next day, getting pictures for my campaign together, just so they could see what I wanted from them.
Hannah, anything to echo there?
Yeah, I would say about the same. It depends, I guess, on how much info you already have for their campaign. If you have all that info, it's pretty easy to get it set up. And then it's really just going through and vetting creators and things like that. And then getting into the nitty gritty with the creators in terms of payment, getting boots out into COVID's case, and just those smaller details.
Perfect. And a few comments, if not gifted, our products returned. We talked a little bit this too about negative reviews. I would give them the opportunity to keep the product and do a make good, or try to give them a gift card of some sort. We typically advise creators that once a product leaves, unless they've had an absolute miserable time with it, it's really theirs. And again, Stephanie, if I don't believe you've had a negative review. I know you mentioned one person didn't work out just because of some timing, but typically when you gift, it's again, that relationship that you're trying to build with the creator. You don't want them to have that bad first time experience. So what can you do to just kind of continue, maybe find something else in your product or SKU that they might like? And then videos and images, that's all part of the contracts. And Stephanie, and I think Megan mentioned this at the beginning as well. All of it's contracted in terms of what you pay for their photography and rights. So depending on budget and scale, that can be baked into your contract as well. Just like Annabelle was saying there. Perfect.
And you can get as detailed or generic as you want to with that. I mean, I'd say the more detailed you go, you would pay them more for their time. But I've done monetary and gifting with every collaboration so far. I just let them keep the items. So I make sure, what I'm sending, they can keep, and that's a part of their, compensation.
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
On the return side, with boots, it can be a little bit challenging with the right or wrong size. So we absolutely have had, creators send the product back and we ship them a new product because the size is off. We generally take the approach of customer service as like our paramount brand staple anyway. And so we actually have free returns for all of our customers. So we just generally have them go through sort of that same process of shipping them back. And in the meantime, we'll ship them out the correct size so that they have a positive experience with the brand.
I think that's right. It's about that positive experience, making sure they feel heard and creating that relationship, because ultimately, you're going to hear a lot about long-term growth, that once you start working with them, they can really help drive that new season, new style. They really build the audience for you too. And yeah, just in terms of products as compensation, we had a question in the gallery. Yes, it really depends on the creator's price and their reach. So when you're in the dashboard, you can get a look at what the creators typically, their average rates are, and some will agree to that. Again, we know that we've got luxury brands as well. So you may have more value in that. So it just depends on what their rate is and what you're asking them to do. Cool. Any other questions? This is great. I love the question part. More from you all, not from me. Well, if you didn't get a chance to ask your question, we are more than happy to take that. There will be information after the webinar where you can reach out. And if you want to talk to Revolution Rose or Tecovas, you can reach out to us as well. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. They've just been wonderful. And again, I've said this a million times, but we're just so impressed with not just, you all on our platform, but everyone that's really touching the Connect brands. It's been such an awesome opportunity for different sizes brands to see such scale, such growth, and just really creating some awesome posts and content. So if there's anything we didn't cover, let us know, but we're so appreciative of your time. Everyone stay cool. I know it's back to school, so good luck if everyone's returning to routine, and we'll be sure to connect. So thank you guys so much. Again, just reach out if we didn't answer any questions, and we will talk soon. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
And gentlemen.
Bye.
Bye.